the last text I should have sent. I still remember the exact moment everything fell apart. It was 2:47 a.m., and I was staring at my phone, shaking. I didn't know if I was more angry, scared, or just completely numb. But I knew one thing: I shouldn't have sent that text. Her name is Emily. We met in college, and from the first moment, it felt like we had known each other forever. Funny, sarcastic, gorgeous, but with a softness in her eyes that made you feel like you were home. We were inseparable, the kind of couple everyone envied on Instagram, and I thought we were unstoppable. Then came the weekend that ruined everything. I was out with friends, scrolling through my phone when a message popped up from an unknown number. "You need to know the truth about Emily." My heart skipped a beat. I replied without thinking, and what I read next made my stomach drop. Pictures. Messages. Texts between her and someone else, someone she called more than a friend. I didn't call her immediately. I wanted proof, confirmation, anything to make sense of it. But hours later, she walked in like nothing was wrong, smiling, holding 2 coffees. "Hey," she said, "I got your favorite." I couldn't speak. I just nodded, my hands trembling. "Are you okay?" she asked, touching my arm. My head snapped up. "Emily, who is he?" I whispered, voice breaking. Her smile faltered. And in that moment, I realized something worse than betrayal: confusion. She didn't deny it. She hesitated, then sighed. "It's not what it looks like." Of course it wasn't. That's what they all say, right? But she went on to explain. He was someone she'd known before me. Someone she hadn't meant to text, someone who had resurfaced out of nowhere. She swore nothing had happened. I wanted to believe her. I needed to. But every time I looked at her, I couldn't unsee the messages. We spent that night talking, arguing, crying. I wanted answers. She wanted understanding. But somewhere between 3 a.m. and dawn, I made a mistake. I sent her a message, one I should have held back. "I can't do this anymore. I can't trust you. I'm done." I pressed send. And then, waited. I didn't expect her reaction. She didn't cry. She didn't yell. She didn't try to explain herself further. She just walked to the door, looked at me one last time, and said, "I love you. I always will." And then she was gone. Days turned into weeks. I tried to move on, tried to convince myself I made the right choice. But everywhere I went, everything I saw reminded me of her. Her laughter, her favorite coffee mug, the little smile she gave when she was nervous. Then one evening, out of the blue, I got a package at my door. Inside was a small journal. I hesitated before opening it, but curiosity won. Every page was filled with her thoughts, her struggles, her fears, and one page stood out. I wanted to tell him the truth, it read. "I never meant to hurt him, but I'm terrified he'll leave. I love him more than anything. Please don't walk away before I can explain." I sat there for hours, tears streaming down my face. I realized then that love is messy, confusing, painful. But sometimes the timing is just wrong. I'll never know what could have happened if I hadn't sent that text. Maybe we would have fought through it. Maybe we would have laughed about it a year later. Or maybe it was always meant to end this way. I still think about her. Every day. And sometimes, when the world is quiet and the phone is asleep beside me, I wonder if she's thinking about me too. Love isn't always enough, and sometimes, the hardest lesson is that the person you love most can slip away, not because they didn't care, but because life doesn't always give you second chances. The messages I never meant to see. I never thought a single message could destroy everything I believed in. But here I am months later, still haunted by it. And I have to get this off my chest. I need someone to know what really happened. Her name is Emily. We met during a stupid group project in college, and somehow, from the first awkward handshake, it clicked. She was the type of person who made you laugh so hard your ribs hurt and then looked at you like you mattered more than the world. I fell fast, like everyone warned me not to, and she fell too. Or at least, I thought she did. We were perfect, or at least, everyone thought we were. Friends called us relationship goals, and social media loved our pictures together. We had inside jokes, late-night drives, random fast food runs, and promises whispered in the dark. I believed we had forever. Then came the weekend that shattered it all. I was at a friend's party, not paying much attention to my phone, when a random message popped up from an unknown number. You deserve to know the truth about Emily. My hands went cold. Against my better judgment, I replied. The next messages left me frozen. Screenshots, texts, pictures, all suggesting Emily was with someone else. Someone she called more than a friend. I didn't confront her right away. I needed proof. Hours passed, my mind spinning through 1,000 scenarios. Then she walked in like nothing had happened, holding 2 coffees and smiling like she always did. Hey, she said, setting one down for me. Your favorite. My voice caught. I couldn't look at her. Emily, who is he? I whispered. My words barely left my mouth. Her smile faded, and the air between us thickened. It's not what it looks like, she said finally, sitting beside me. She explained he was someone she'd known before me. Someone who had popped back into her life unexpectedly. She swore nothing had happened. She begged me to trust her. I wanted to, I really did. But the images I'd seen were burned into my mind. We argued through the night. I demanded honesty. She demanded understanding. I cried. She cried. The city outside our window was quiet, oblivious to the mess inside. And then, in the heat of our words, I made the biggest mistake of my life. I sent her a message I didn't think I'd ever have the courage to send. I can't do this anymore. I can't trust you. I'm done. I hit send and waited. For hours, I didn't know if I'd done the right thing. She didn't scream. She didn't beg. She didn't even try to explain further. She just looked at me with tears in her eyes, whispered, I love you. I always will, and walked out the door. The following weeks were hell. I couldn't eat. I couldn't sleep. I haunted our favorite spots alone, wondering if she was thinking about me, if she hated me, if she missed me even half as much as I missed her. Then one evening, a package arrived at my door. Inside, a small, worn journal with Emily's handwriting. My hands shook as I flipped through it. Each page was raw, intimate, filled with fears, confessions, memories. One page stopped me cold. I wanted to tell him the truth, but I was scared. I never wanted to hurt him. I love him more than anything. Please, don't leave before I can explain. I realized then that love isn't simple. It's messy, complicated, and sometimes cruel. Sometimes the person you love the most doesn't leave because they don't care. They leave because life's timing is wrong. And yet, even knowing this, I couldn't let her go completely. Months later, I saw her by chance at a coffee shop, laughing at something on her phone. Our eyes met. No words. Just a silent acknowledgement of everything we'd lost. And in that brief second, I understood. Some connections don't end. They just become something else. A memory. A what if. I still think about her. Every single day. Sometimes I wonder if she's thinking about me too. And sometimes I lie awake at night, holding my phone, thinking about the last message I should have sent. Love isn't always enough. But heartbreak teaches you something more. It teaches you the truth, that letting go doesn't always mean the love was fake. Sometimes it just means you survived it. The secret she never told me. I never thought I'd find out someone I trusted could keep a secret so big and hurt me so deeply. But here I am, staring at my phone at 3 a.m., replaying everything over and over in my head. Her name is Lily. We met at a bookstore, of all places, and she was arguing with the clerk over a signed copy of a novel. I laughed, she laughed, and by the end of the week, we were inseparable. She had this energy that pulled you in, and I was hooked from the start. Everything was perfect, at least on the surface. Our friends loved our little adventures, our nights out, our endless jokes. But beneath that perfection, I guess I never really knew her as well as I thought. It started with small things, missed calls, vague excuses, her checking her phone a little too often. I brushed it off, telling myself I was overthinking it. Until the day I saw her laughing at a message from someone named Jake. Something about the way she smiled, the way her eyes lit up, it made my stomach twist. I confronted her immediately. Lily, who's Jake? Her face fell. Oh, he's just an old friend. That's all. An old friend? Lily, I've seen the way you look at him. I said, my voice shaking. She sighed, tears forming. It's complicated. I didn't want to tell you because I was afraid. I didn't know how you'd react. The days that followed were chaos. I couldn't eat. I couldn't sleep. I tried to focus on school, work, life, but everything reminded me of her. I started snooping, texts, messages, anything I could find. And then I found it. Not just texts, but emails. Plans. Photos. Things she had promised me she'd never do. I felt like my world had cracked open. Everything we had shared, the laughs, the late-night talks, the promises, it all felt like a lie. I wanted to yell. I wanted to leave. I wanted to forgive. I didn't know what I wanted anymore. Finally, one night, I couldn't take it. I went to her apartment unannounced. She opened the door, confused, scared. "Why are you here?" she asked. "I can't do this anymore," I said, tears streaming down my face. "I can't trust you. I can't be with you if there's Jake in your life." She stepped closer, taking my hands. "I never meant to hurt you. I love you more than anything. Jake, he was someone from my past, someone I thought I'd never see again. I didn't tell you because I was scared you'd leave. I wanted to handle it on my own." "I don't know if I can believe you," I whispered. She shook her head. "I understand. But I swear, it's always been you. Always." I left that night feeling empty, torn between love and betrayal. Weeks passed. I tried to move on. I tried to convince myself that maybe we weren't meant to be. But then, out of nowhere, I got a package. Inside was a photo album, pictures of us from the last 2 years, with little notes she had written on each page. Memories, reminders of the love we shared. Tears blurred my vision. I realized then that love isn't simple. It isn't perfect. Sometimes, the person you love most makes mistakes, but it doesn't mean the love was never real. It just means it's complicated. I never went back to her. Not fully. Not yet. But I carry her memory with me, the good and the bad. And sometimes, late at night, when the world is quiet, I wonder if she's thinking about me too. Love, I've learned, isn't about never being hurt. It's about surviving it, learning from it, and remembering that even in heartbreak, some connections never truly die.